Fifth graders, we are going to be doing a pretty difficult, complex stitching weaving using yarn and creating this cord, or almost looks like a lace or rope. So to begin, we're going to need a tracer, a circle tracer. So I'm going to circle this and cut it out. This is going to be what we weave on. This is going to be our loom. So we're going to add a little bit of social studies in with this project. We are going to start by creating a little mark at the top and a little mark at the bottom. And I'm going to label these with an N for north and an S for south. I'm going to do the same thing on the left side and the right side. And I'm going to label those west and east. Now we have to create 16 dashes around the edge of the circle. So I am going to go in between. I know that that's now 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I started with north-south, then I went west-east, then I divided them up so it would look like a pizza into 8 slices, and then I stuck one more dash between all of them. So after I have that, I am going to cut those little dashes just with a little snip so that my yarn can fit and loop in them. If they are not perfectly spaced, that's okay. The important thing is I have 16 slots around the edge of the circle. And I started on the S. Now I need to create a hole in the middle of here, and I think that the easiest way to do that is to lightly bend this and just make a little snip in the center. And that allows me to kind of cut both ways. And I am going to just round a shape out of here. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just has to be a hole big enough for my yarn to fit through. So if you think about this yarn cord would fit through here without a problem. Definitely bigger than a pencil. So a pencil should be able to move in there. At this point, I'm ready to get yarn. So at the back counter, you are going to be getting 2 different colors. So my example had red and purple. I am going to get 2 of each color. So I'm going to use yellow and brown for this video. What I did is I stretched my arm length. Means this yarn went all the way across my body, hand to hand. And I got 2 yellow strings that length, and I got 2 brown strings that length. So a total of 4 strings that are an arm span long. Now I'm going to match up the ends on one side, and I'm going to fold them in half. It's hard to see this on the video because my yarn is so long, but I'm folding them in half. So I have loose ends on one side and I have this loop on the other. I am going to balloon tie this. So what that means is I'm going to wrap these around my 2 fingers that I would tie a balloon with, and this looped tail is going to go through my fingers, and then I'm going to pull. So I have one end that is pulled. This is going to go in the hole, and what I'm going to do is we don't want to pull it very far through. It's just in there. The knot is right by that circle. I'm going to take 1 yarn color. So I'm going to start with this yellow. I'm finding 1 string, and 1 string is going to go on the end, and 1 yellow string is going to go right next to it on the right side. The other yellow strings are going to go on the south and the one to the right of south. My brown strings are going to go on the west side and to the right or up. You could think about this as clockwise. That's the way a clock turns. And my other brown, kind of stuck in there, is going to go towards east and then to the right. So for on this side, that means The other brown string is going to go down. So I'm starting out with something that looks like a cross or an X. Now the fun begins. This is where it gets a little tricky. So I'm going to give this video a pause and get everybody caught up. So we just looked at some of the pictures on the smartboard to kind of get you a start on weaving. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take my left hand and I am going to move this left bottom, it's down by my tummy, up to the top, and I can see that fork. I'm going to switch hands and my right hand takes the string on the right and brings it down to the bottom. Now I'm going to turn this around like a clock and I'm going to repeat left hand, left brown string up to the top, and I see the fork. I'm going to switch hands and my right hand is going to take the right brown string down to the bottom, and now I can see my X again. I'm going to repeat this over and over and over. So I turn clockwise, left hand takes the left string up, right hand takes the right string down, and I turn. Left string up, right hand, right string down. And I like to give this middle area a little pull every once in a while just to keep it tight. And I turn. It's going to take several of these directions before you start to see the cord come down the middle. I am just trying to keep this really tight, so when I'm bringing these up, I am pulling. I'm not letting it loose and having loops. And down. And as I'm working, I have a lot of string in the beginning. On the bottom here, it's kind of getting tangled. So I'm going to just make sure that's okay. So we're just going to keep doing this over and over, and I will be around today to help you if you are completely stuck. But I think you guys will figure this out. Once you get the hang of it, it goes speedy. The first couple times, your brain is thinking too much and is getting confused. So I'm going to pause this and keep working, and when I come back, you'll start to see a little bit of that cord coming through. So I am a couple minutes into this project, and you can see coming down the bottom is that awesome cord. It's very, very neatly and tightly woven. So we're going to use the rest of art today to keep practicing. If you pause and need to do something, or you get lost and aren't sure where to start, I can see that this yellow string is at the top. So my yellow went up and my yellow went down. I know that I need to start with brown next. So my brown's going to go up and my brown's going to go down. A great way to keep track is, if you're going to pause or take a break, pause and take a break when you can see your fork, when you have 3 strings at the top, because you'll know when you come back to it that you need to get one of those strings down. So have fun, good luck, and help each other out, because there's only one teacher in the room to help everybody.